You sit down at your desk, completely exhausted. Yet, you realize with a sinking feeling that you haven't actually done a single piece of real work all day. Your brain feels like a web browser with 100 tabs open at the same time. You stare at the screen, feeling completely paralyzed. So, you do what you always do. You pick up your phone to take a quick break. You scroll. You check an email. You watch a fast video. But what if I told you that your modern version of taking a break is exactly what is destroying your ability to focus? Today, we're going to explore the hidden psychology of mental bandwidth. You are about to discover the absolute simplest productivity trick in the world. By the end of this video, you will understand why your brain feels so broken and how that trick can actually give you your life back. Let's look at the heavy daily exhaustion you feel right now. Society tells you that you are just burnt out from working too hard. They tell you to take a vacation or try a new time management app. But what good is your weekend or vacation if you don't switch off? When you finish a tough task, you immediately open social media. When you drive home, you blast a podcast. When you eat lunch, you watch a show. You genuinely believe you are resting because you are not officially working? But cognitive psychology tells a completely different, slightly terrifying story. Every single time you look at a screen, your brain is processing massive amounts of data. You are absorbing flashing colors, new voices, complex opinions, and heavy news stories. These are all cognitive inputs. And your human brain has a very strict biological limit on how many inputs it can handle in a single day. Imagine your mind as a clear glass of water. When you wake up after a good night of sleep, the glass is empty. It is ready to be filled. Your deep, important work is supposed to go into that glass. But before you even start your main project, you check your email. You pour in a little water. You read a stressful text message. You pour in a little more. You check your analytics, read a comment, and listen to the morning news. By 10 a.m., your glass is already completely full to the brim. When you finally sit down to do the hard work, there is absolutely no space left. Your brain is not broken. You are not lazy. Your mind is just completely full. This is what psychologists call a depleted mental bandwidth. You literally do not have the cognitive real estate left to focus. So, how do you empty the glass? This brings us to a radical, almost absurd psychological experiment. It is the lost art of the intentionally boring break. The next time you feel completely stuck, you are allowed to step away from your desk, but you cannot take your phone. You cannot bring a book. You cannot play music. You simply find a blank wall, sit in a chair, and stare at it for 10 to 20 minutes. You do absolutely nothing. At first, this might feel like pure psychological torture. Your brain is deeply addicted to constant, high-speed stimulation. It will scream at you to check your notifications. It will make your body feel anxious and restless. You might even feel a dull throbbing in your head as your mind violently fights the silence. But if you can just sit there and survive the initial panic, something magical happens. Watch what happens to your nervous system. After a few minutes, the heavy resistance begins to fade. Your brain realizes there is no new, urgent information to process. Your breathing slows down. Your racing thoughts begin to untangle and stretch out. As you stare at the wall, your vision might even start to blur. You enter a quiet, half-conscious state of deep mental rest. The thoughts dull down almost to the point of being dreams. You are actively emptying the glass. Without the constant flood of fast dopamine, your brain's baseline completely resets. And this is where the true, dangerous superpower of this trick reveals itself. When your 10 minutes are up and you return to your desk, the work no longer looks painful. Because your brain has been intentionally starved of stimulation, your boring spreadsheet or your difficult project suddenly looks highly engaging. You sit down and you instantly drop into a deep, unbroken flow state. You will find yourself locked in for hours. You will solve complex problems with ease simply because you allowed your brain to truly rest. But you don't just have to stare at walls to get this massive benefit. You can practice this all day by simply inhabiting the in-between moments. Modern humans are absolutely terrified of silence. We pull out our phones while waiting in a short line at the grocery store. We panic if we have to sit in a waiting room for 2 minutes without a screen. But you are allowed to just exist in those quiet gaps. You can drive home in complete, absolute silence. You can sit on your couch and just watch the light shift across the room for 5 minutes. When you stop filling every tiny gap in your day with digital noise, you reclaim massive amounts of mental energy. You stop bleeding your focus out into the digital world. And the psychological benefits of this go far beyond just finishing your work tasks. Think about how you interact with the people you love at the end of a long day. Often you are physically in the room, but your mind is a million miles away. You half listen and get easily irritated. That is because the hidden tabs in your brain are still running. That business email you checked at lunch is still eating up your bandwidth. The comment you read hours ago is still taking up space. This depletes your inner resources. But when you start taking true, boring breaks, you aggressively protect your energy. You stop leaking your presence to digital inputs. When you finally log off, you actually have mental bandwidth left over. You can look your partner in the eye and truly process what they are saying. You feel a genuine sense of peace sitting in your living room. You become wildly, beautifully present. The dull moments of life suddenly feel vibrant again. You are entirely capable of redesigning how your brain operates today. It doesn't require painful discipline or a complex new scheduling app. You just have to start ruthlessly protecting your mental real estate. Treat your focus like the most valuable asset you own, because it absolutely is. If you have a massive task to do, give it the prime real estate of your morning. Do not let a single notification touch your brain before you tackle your main goal. If a task requires output and creation, try using pen and paper instead of a glowing screen to remove the temptation of the internet. And when the heavy exhaustion inevitably hits in the afternoon, do not reach for a digital distraction. You are allowed to just sit and exist. You can give yourself full permission to be completely, unapologetically bored. In a world desperately trying to steal your attention every second, choosing to look at a blank wall is the ultimate act of rebellion. It is how you quietly take your powerful mind back. The outstanding, life-changing excellence you are looking for isn't hidden inside another fast-paced video or self-help podcast. It is quietly waiting for you in the empty, silent spaces you have been trying so hard to avoid.